Right, let's discuss the zeros of a polynomial. Remember that a function is going to have at most n real zeros and at most n minus 1 relative extrema. That's where we have a turn in the graph. There are several methods for finding the zeros. Graphically, algebraically, we studied with quadratics, and the calculator. Calculator's always nice. The real zeros of a polynomial function, x equal a, is a zero of the function f. X equal to a is a solution of the equation. X minus a is a factor, and the ordered pair a0 is an x-intercept. All of these are going to be done with the same technique. So let's consider the following function: 2x cubed minus x squared, etc. There will be 3 zeros. There are 2 alternatives. 1, we could have 3 real zeros. 2, we could have 1 real zero and 2 imaginary. Let's use the calculator to determine the zeros. So we're going to go in here and we're going to tell it to solve the 2x squared cubed, minus x squared minus 27x plus 36. And we're going to set that equal to 0. Since we're going to solve first, that equals 0. Solve for x. Works a little bit there, and there they come. There's our solutions. 3 halves, and minus 4. Now, the next thing let's do, and show that we get the very same thing, is change the word solve to the word factor. Notice where we find it up there in the menu. It's number 2 under algebra. So we're going to factor. And when we hit enter, notice our factors are x minus 3, x plus 4, and 2x minus 3. This whole thing still equals 0. Now, let's also find the zeros of this function. So we'll go up to F2, we'll come down and use option 4, which is zeros. And this time we have to edit it a little bit because we can't make it equal 0 and have the calculator find the zeros. So there's the zeros. So notice now that all 3 of the things, minus 4, 3 halves, and 3, are the solutions, the factors, and the zeros, and the x-intercepts. Now, consider this 4th order function. There will be 4 zeros. There are 3 alternatives. 4 real, 2 real zeros and 2 imaginary, and 4 imaginary. We're not going to work with the imaginary ones right now. Let's hope this one has 4 real zeros. So again, go to the calculator, ask it, let's find the zeros first. Ask it to find the zeros first. First of all, we have to get it keyed in. Now remember, when you're using your calculator, you need to be careful keying it in so that you don't have any mistakes in it, because you're not going to get the right answer. Remember, the calculator is only going to do what you tell it to do. And if you get careless, bad mistakes, bad data is going to come out. So we're finding the zeros. And notice the zeros are 3, minus 1, 2, and 4. All right, 4 real ones. We're glad for that. Now let's go here and take out the word zeros. Let's go up and F2 and ask it to factor this time. There are our factors: minus 4, x minus 2, x plus 1, and x plus 3. Now I bet you we're going to solve it. Got to change what we want. And this time we have to kind of right arrow over till we get to the end, because we have to set the thing equal to 0 so it can solve. It has to be equal to something before it can solve. Right now, if you'll remember, 4, 2, minus 1, and minus 3, those were the zeros that we got also. So again, the solutions, the factors, and the zeros are all the same. The x-intercepts are ordered pairs. All right, now let's plot this thing and see what it looks like on a plot. It takes a minute to get everything in. We're storing it in y1 of x, and then we're going to go to the y equals screen so that we can see that it's actually there. There it is. And then we're going to zoom, and this time we're going to change the window. We're going to let x min be minus 5, max 5. See, it's always nice to be able to change the window. Notice how much we have to increase and decrease the mins and maxes for y so that we'll be able to see this whole thing. And changing the scale to 10 keeps me from having 150 tick marks on the y-axis. All right, there we come. Oh, notice it rises to the left. Let's see what it's going to do on the right. It falls to the right. We expected that. We had a minus 2. Notice there's our 4 x-intercepts. And we have some other things that are going to show up. Oh, I mentioned to you, jump the gun. Falls to the left, falls to the right. We expected that because of a equaling 2.